Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of College Ball with J-Dog. Got a few things we're going to go over today. We're going to go over the AP and coaches poll, see what the movement was in those. We're going to talk about Finebaum running for Senate, which is actually really a possibility. Then we're going to preview week 6, y'all. It's a pretty good slate. Maybe not quite like last week was, but last week was one of those you're very rarely going to get that good from morning to night. We still got some bangers this week, y'all. Y'all make sure you do that YouTube stuff for me before we get going. Hit that thumbs up for me. Hit that bell, go up, hit all. Y'all get in the comment section. Tell me if you like the content. Tell me if you don't like the content, what I could for you to like it. Let's get into it, y'all. First things first. I'm still not quite 100%, but I'm close enough that I'm back and better than ever is what I like to say. All right, y'all. My Vols ain't moved in 2 weeks, y'all. Let's just start with that. In either poll, we sat at 15 the last 2 weeks. People's jumped us, people's dropped below us. We stayed the same. Even after a good hard-fought win on the road in the SEC, we sit at 15. Let's go over how these other ones, y'all. Let's start at the bottom. Arizona State's back in the poll. In both of them, they're 24-1, 25 in the AP. I've told y'all many times I go off the coaches poll. Don't care about the AP poll, but we discuss it on here anyway. So the AP poll, Virginia's in there. Arizona State's back in. BYU's up 2 spots, 23. Illinois is up 1 spot. Notre Dame's up 1 spot. Michigan's down a spot. Missouri's up to 19. Missouri's really getting kind of disrespected at 5-0 with wins over Kansas and South Carolina. I think they should be a little higher. Florida State only dropped 10 spots in the AP poll to 18. Georgia Tech dropped a spot. Vandy jumped 2. Tennessee stays the same. Iowa State stays the same. LSU drops 9. Georgia drops 7. Texas Tech goes up 1. Bama jumps 7. Texas up 1. Indiana up 3 after barely winning against Iowa. Penn State only dropped 4 spots, which they played probably their best game against the top 10 opponent since Franklin's been there, to be honest, but they still done what Penn State does. A&M jumped 3 spots. Oklahoma all the way up to 5, y'all. That's absolutely insane. As Stephen A. says, that's asinine, y'all. Oklahoma being at 5 already is absolutely insane. Ole Miss at 4. They did beat LSU. They got a lot of hard games left. So I don't really have a problem with them being that high right now. But like I said, LSU, they really showed they was overrated time and time again. Miami 3, Oregon 2, Ohio State 1. Ohio State deserves to be 1 until they lose. They're defending champs. They've handled business so far. Oregon at 2 don't bother me. Even though really I think Miami should have been at 2. They've got 2 good wins. Not good wins. But they beat Notre Dame, South Florida, and Florida. All Oregon's beat is Penn State. And Penn State's Penn State every year. Coaches poll. Let's see what the coaches think, y'all. They have Utah 25. They're back in the poll after dropping out. Arizona State 24. BYU 23. Illinois 22. They're up a spot. So is BYU. Notre Dame stayed the same spot, 21. Michigan's down 2. FSU fell to 19. I think they should have fell out of top 20. That's just me. Missouri, even in the coaches poll, only at 18. That's crazy. They got 2 pretty good wins compared to some of these other schools. Vandy, 17. Vandy's got a tough game this weekend. If you know, you know. We're going to talk about it here soon. Georgia Tech went up a spot after winning in overtime against Wake Forest. But Tennessee sits the same after winning in overtime against Mississippi State, who beat your number 24 team. Make it make sense. Texas Tech stays the same. LSU down 9. LSU should have fell further. You got Iowa State up 1. Alabama up 5. Georgia down 7. Indiana up 3. Oklahoma up 2. See, the coaches poll has Oklahoma at 8. I still think that's a little high. But that's way better than Oklahoma being 5. Texas 7. Penn State 6, A&M 5, Ole Miss 4, Miami 3. So the top 4 in the coaches poll is the same as the AP poll. I think Penn State should have fell further, honestly. I don't have much of a problem with the coaches poll. I think Tennessee should be up about 13. LSU should be down about 15. I think Missouri and Vandy should be a little higher. But all in all, it's pretty close. I mean, there's still a lot of weeks of football left, y'all. We're a little over a quarter way through. We got most teams have 7 to 8 games left. So I'm not going to nitpick the polls too much. I have my top 12 come out tomorrow. I have my top 12. Which includes a group of 5. I have my SEC quarterback and my SEC power rankings like I always do on Tuesday now. That's a Tuesday thing we're going to start. Up next. This is wild, y'all. I never thought I'd see this in my life when I clicked on ESPN today. Paul Finebaum says he is considering running for U.S. Senate. SEC Network host Paul Finebaum said Monday that he'd consider leaving ESPN to run for U.S. Senate representing Alabama. The 70-year-old Finebaum said during a recent interview with Outkick that he'd run as a Republican to fill a seat vacated by former Auburn football coach Tommy Tuberville, who has said he'll run for Alabama governor in 2026 elections. Tuberville's current Senate term ends in 2027. So Finebaum's thinking about running to take over for Tommy Tuberville in Alabama. Finebaum, you better stick to football. You already don't know what you're talking about half the time when it comes to football, but you still get paid for it. You still get clicks. I think sometimes you just say shit just to get our eyes out of people. I like your show. I think the callers are funny. As far as your football knowledge goes, it's about like this, though. You literally was the first football personality that done the whole rage click stuff. You'd say crazy shit, get people to tune in. I appreciate the hustle. But me personally, if I was you, Paul, I'd stick to football. Let's get in this week's slate of games, y'all. There's some that probably ain't going to be close. We're going to talk about them anyway. Like this one right here. I've got to update my rankings. I got to take Calzada off and put Cutter Boley on there. If I'm daggone. If I'm Mark Stoops, I was looking at that Georgia sign and Rick come to my head. If I'm Stoops, I'll leave Boley in no matter if Calzada gets healthy or not, just because you might as well let him get some experience to maybe keep your job into next year. If he starts looking promising, people will be more likely to give you another chance. Georgia's favored by 20.5. Over-under is 48.5. ESPN FPI is 90-10. Do I think this game will be close? Probably not. This ain't a prediction show, it's a preview show, y'all. But I mean, I guess technically Kentucky could make it interesting, but they haven't against Georgia, and I don't see this year being the year after Georgia just lost to Alabama. They're going to be pissed off. They're going to be mad. They're going to make a statement. This ain't a prediction show, but Kentucky might be my best bet next week. This week coming up. Let's just put it that. That could be my best bet for Georgia to cover that 20.5. This one right here is very surprising. Number 14, Iowa State, going on the road to Cincinnati. Cincinnati's favored by 1.5, y'all. 48.5 on the FPI, so it's even on the FPI too. Cincinnati's looked really good since they lost to Nebraska the first week of the year. Their quarterback's really good. Vegas knows something there. It's not very often Vegas misses, which they do, obviously, but they know something there. Cincinnati's a pretty good team in the Big East. If Iowa State loses that game, I don't know. In games like that where I'm torn on, I usually go with the quarterback I trust the most and the coach I trust the most. And in that game, it's probably Matt Campbell and Rocco Beck. I mean, I've got all week to think about it, look up my numbers, all that before I make my picks. But I'd probably lean Iowa State at this point. This one right here, I just do it on there because I got a Michigan buddy that watches the show. So I wanted to give him his prediction on here, or his previews game for him. Look, let's be honest. Wisconsin's garbage this year. They played 2 Power 5 teams. Got the shit beat out of them by both of them. Alabama beat them 38-14. Maryland beat them 27-10. Michigan's favored by 16.5 for a reason. That's a good game for your freshman quarterback. Get some work in at home. Build his confidence up. Because if all else fails, you can lean on the run game and finish them off more than likely. I mean, you play the game on Saturday for a reason, but I definitely would like – I'm liking Michigan in that game right now. This one, I just wanted to be able to take a shot at my former quarterback. I decided not to do it in the last video. UCLA, Penn State. Penn State travels to LA against the 0-4 UCLA Bruins. UCLA lost to Northwestern last weekend. They lost to Utah. They lost to UNLV. They lost to New Mexico. I've got a couple of my favorite Owens on the top of my head right now. I got Owen Wilson, Owen Hart, and UCLA being 0-4. Those are my 3 favorite Owens, y'all. Could you have made a worse decision? UCLA is probably not going to win a game this year, y'all. I mean, let's be honest about it. They done played their out-of-conference games. All they got conference games left. They just lost to Northwestern. Who are they going to beat in the Big Ten? Not looking like anybody. This game's a little bigger of a matchup right here than we thought it'd be probably last week. Undefeated Louisville, still not ranked. Brom does a good job there. Virginia's ranked now, even with the loss to North Carolina State. But it wasn't a conference game, so they're undefeated in conference. Still don't understand how that works, but it's not for me to understand, y'all. Louisville's favorite 56-44. The Louisville spread 7.5. Over under 62.5. Can Virginia get fired up again after pulling off the upset? Or is this a letdown spot after an emotional win? I'll let you know later in the week on Thursday, y'all. I think that could be a really good game, though. I seen that one on there, and I was like, Virginia lost that game. We haven't even talked about that game, but Virginia won it. Louisville had a crazy comeback on Pitt, too. Their ball boys fighting for the ball. If you ain't seen that clip, look it up. It was pretty hilarious. Pitt was trying to keep their ball. Their ball boys over there literally trying to fight players for it, and he got it back. And they come back and beat them. This game right here is a little intriguing too, y'all. The spread don't think so. Connor Weigman, former Texas A&M quarterback. He's at Houston right now. They're 4-0. Texas Tech, Barry Morton, they're 4-0. They're traveling to Houston. The spread's 11.5. FPI loves Texas Tech too. That's a sneaky game right there, though, y'all. Two in-state rivals. We got a high number on that spread. You just never know. Two undefeated teams. I felt like that game's worth talking about. We'll probably pick it, too. Now we're getting into the big games, y'all. The big games of the weekend. I like to keep y'all waiting. Here's the first one. Texas Longhorns travel down to the Swamp, 3:30. Texas favored by 6.5. Over-under is 43.5. They expect this to be a low-scoring game. If I was going to bet on it, I'd hit the over right now. Usually when them over-unders are so low, they always hit high. Florida's coming off a bye week. Texas is coming off a bye week too. Yeah, hit that over right now before it goes up. FPI loves Texas, 77%, 23%. Can Florida, Napier, and Lagway get right after a bye week? Does Texas get right after a bye week? From what I've seen so far this year, I have more faith in Texas than I do Florida. But last year, Florida won a couple of home games. That's why you play the game, y'all. I keep saying it. That's why you play the game. As bad as Arches look, he's looked better in Lagway. I think that's going to be a really good game. I really do. With the being in the Swamp, both teams coming off a bye. I like Sarkisian off the bye a little more, but I think it's going to be a lot better game than people think it'll be. I think about 4:30, 5 o'clock this Saturday, everybody was saying, you watching this Texas-Florida game? Mark my words, y'all. Then we got another 3:30 banger, another SEC game. Vandy goes on the road in Alabama. Can Vandy stay undefeated, 6-0? Can Alabama get revenge for Vandy handing them a loss last year? You got Pavia versus Simpson. The spread is 10.5. Bama's favored. The over-under is 57.5. I think this game's going to be closer than that, y'all. The FPI loves Alabama 74-26. I know Alabama's going to be ready for that game because of last year. But Vandy's tough, y'all. And there's still people overlooking Vandy. I don't think Vandy's a national title contender or anything. But any Saturday, they can beat you. And they're physical. So if you're not physical, they'll blast your ass off the ball. think that's another one. That's 3:30 games out there. I'm going to have to bust out the damn double TV like I do every weekend. Bring out my little TV, watch the game I'm not as interested in. I mean, I'm interested in, obviously. Got the one I'm most interested in on my big 85-inch. Then I got the little 40-inch over here. With the secondary game on it, just looking back and forth. That way I ain't got to flip so damn much. Ain't got to miss anything. This game right here would be so much bigger if FSU didn't F around and find out on the road, y'all. Miami goes to Tallahassee. Miami's favored by 4.5. The over-unders, 54.5. FPI loves Miami 65-35. Miami's coming off the bye. Florida State's coming off a loss. It's at Florida State. And that might be the only hope Florida State's got, y'all. Miami's looked really good. I want to hype it up for you. I know Florida State's looked good too until last week. I just don't trust Castellanos, y'all. They're a reason he had chance after chance at Boston College. He has games where he looks really good. If you stop him from running the ball and force him to beat you with his arm, it's not going to happen. That's how you beat FSU. You force Castellanos to beat you with his arm because he can't do it. He's very, very, very athletic quarterback. He's small. He is maybe a mediocre passer, maybe a little below mediocre. So if Miami's defense looks like it has all year and they stop Castellanos from running the ball, stop FSU from running the ball, I'd load the box. I'd load the box, make Castellanos show me he can beat me down the field. And if he does that, I'll back it up a little bit. But until he does, I'm loading the box, making sure he beats me. Because I honestly don't think he can. And last but not least, I couldn't believe the spread on this game, y'all. Mississippi State's getting no love. Even though they beat Arizona State, who still ain't lost another game, back in the top 25. They just took us to the damn ropes. Had me sweating, had my heart pounding, had me on the verge of a heart attack and a stroke. Still getting no love. They're 14.5-point favorites at Texas A&M, underdogs at A&M, y'all. Auburn just gave A&M everything they could handle. That's a big spread. I would jump on that spread right now. There is no way A&M beats Mississippi State by more than 14 points. That's my opinion. I would jump on that spread right now. Whichever ones I just told y'all to jump on, I'm going to go jump on as soon as I get done with this video. Mississippi State is a damn good team. I'm not saying they're going to go Texas A&M and win, y'all. Because they're two hard games that they've looked really good in. We're both at home. But Levy has that program to where they can make some noise. He runs the same system as Heupel. It's one of those, he might not get the talent at Mississippi State like Heupel does at Tennessee. But I think they're due for a turnaround this year, and I think they're really going to win 7-8 games. Don't sleep on Mississippi State, Texas A&M, y'all. That's a 7:30 game. There's not many good games on at that time. So if you got nothing to do Saturday, you're like me, you're going to be on your couch all day anyway, watching football. My Vols have a bye week. I get a little bit of a breather. I'll definitely be tuned into this game because I think it's going to be way closer than Vegas thinks. They could prove me wrong, make me look bad. But I'm hopping on that 14.5 as soon as I get off this video, y'all. If you're a Tennessee fan, enjoy the bye week. We're going to come back healthier than we've been all year, y'all. We're supposed to get McCoy back, David Hobbs back. Jackson Moore will be not on a pitch count anymore like he was against Mississippi State. Linebackers a little banged up. They should be healthy. This stretch run after this bye week, y'all. We got another bye week later in the year, but this stretch run after this bye week, starting with Arkansas, be the healthiest we've been all year. And I think we're going to come out against Arkansas and look the best we've looked all season. Get ready for who's up after that. Alabama. That's what I was thinking. Get healthy right before we play Bama. Have a game against Arkansas, a little revenge game. Then we go to Tuscaloosa. So y'all enjoy the off week because after that, it's right back to stroke level. Your heart rate up. Nervous. Needing a Xanax, needing a beer, whatever you take. I appreciate y'all tuning in, y'all. If you haven't already, do that YouTube stuff for me. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that bell, go up, hit off. If you're already subscribed, I appreciate the hell out of you. If you ain't, do it. I'm going to lock you up. Thank y'all. God bless you. And go Vols.